Coming to you from our studios on Carab Avenue, this is QTV Nightly News. Here are the main news headlines. On Wednesday, after the delivery forum with President Professor Pierre Gomez, the Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology disclosed plans to provide state-of-the-art facilities for the University of the Gambia medical students. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations held a high-level meeting on Wednesday, marking the official signing and public launch of its Country Programming Framework 2024 to 2028. Women's rights activists and female lawyers on Wednesday called for the institution of laws that promote and guarantee women's right to land, especially for agriculture. In sports news, the Gambia missed out yet again another FIFA window to play international friendlies to prepare for upcoming AFCON and World Cup qualifiers in June. In international news, in one of his last duties as president, Macky Sall has unveiled a statue honoring the late Captain Mbaye, Diagne, a man credited with saving the lives of many Rwandans during that country's 1994 genocide. Those were the headlines, and now we look at the stories in details. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV's Nightly News. We begin this bulletin with a press release from the State House. President Adama Barrow is pleased to declare Friday, 29th March and Monday, 1st April 2024, which mark Good Friday and Easter Monday respectively, as public holidays throughout the country to mark this year's Easter celebrations. President Barrow sends his warmest wishes to all Christians, a joyous Easter celebration and a happy holiday to all Gambians. The release ends. Now, on Wednesday, after the delivery forum with the President, Professor Pierre Gomez, the Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, disclosed plans to provide state-of-the-art facilities for the University of the Gambia medical students. He also plans to build dormitories at the UTG Faraba campus starting this year, among other updates. Aliu Cisse reports.
Minister Professor Pierre Gomez and senior officials of his ministry and tertiary institutions are meeting the president to update him on the progress of project implementations, plans and challenges. The presentation centered around the ongoing work at the UTG Faraba campus, construction of the USAT University, transformation of Mbaye and the Gambia College, and institutional reforms in the sector. Speaking to reporters after the closed-door meeting, Minister Gomez disclosed plans to provide state-of-the-art facilities for the School of Medicines and Allied Health Sciences, costing around $43 million.
And so we're going for resource mobilization to be led by the Honorable Minister of Finance, so that in this very land, we, for the first time in the history of this country, we will have equipment, medical equipment that we never had, and also buildings and labs for our medical students, and also coming out with new program, degree program like pharmacy. So this is also something that we work on with the we decided to incorporate in the briefing.
The higher education team also updated the Gambian leader on the progress of work at the University of Science, Engineering and Technology in Brikama, which is set for inauguration in the middle of this year.
The novelty is we've briefed him about the plans we have on entrepreneurship and innovation. We're going to have entrepreneurship and innovation hubs in most of these Tibet centers that we're going to have. We're going to construct more facilities at Deman, and also instead of now MRC Holland for the agribusiness in Sapo, this time around we're going to because we want things to go very fast. So because MRC Holland is busy elsewhere, I'll come back to that. We are now using the World Bank now funds that we have our project to construct the agribusiness center that we plan to have in Sapo.
Speaking further, he revealed plans to partner with the MRC Holland Foundation and brighter future to commence constructing the dormitories at the university campus in Faraba this year.
We're also going to give some stipend. This is for the first time, to those students in our TVET programs. Remember, it is no longer going to be a Wacharahasu affair. This is business, this is development, and sustainable development for that matter. Therefore, we will get through our project, the World Bank project, we're going to support also these students in these TVET centers for the first time, equivalent of $400 per student.
The president was also briefed about the transformation of the Management Development Institute, MDI, into a University of Civil Service, which has been approved by Cabinet. The same is true for the Gambia College into the Gambia University of Education. He promised more transformation in the sector. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, held a high-level meeting on Wednesday, marking the official signing and public launch of its country programming framework, CPF 2024 to 2028, to strengthen sustainable agricultural practices and ensure food security within the country. Lena Igwenyiba tells us more.
Following a comprehensive review of the previous country programming framework, CPF 2018 to 2021, and extensive consultations with various stakeholders, including government bodies, NGOs, and beneficiaries, FAO has crafted a new CPF tailored to align with national, regional, and global directives. This updated framework sets out the key priority areas identified by the Gambian government to steer FAO's partnership and assistance for the upcoming period. Mushibudi Priscilla Rampidi, FAO representative in the Gambia, emphasized the transformative potential of the CPF over the next 4 years.
We plan to support smallholder farmers and fisherfolk to adopt climate-smart, sustainable agriculture and natural resources management practices. We plan to support households, children, women, and girls to receive adequate nutrition. We will be supporting access to livelihood programs, nature-based solutions for inclusive, gender and youth responsive economic growth and broader human development.
Nairo Sarr, the UNFPA representative in the Gambia, representing the UN resident coordinator, underscored the importance of leveraging collective efforts to combat hunger, ensure food security, enhance nutrition, and foster sustainable agriculture practices.
As we launch the FAO Country Programming Framework 2024-2028 today, let us reaffirm our commitment to collectively translate its ambitious objective into tangible actions that will benefit the people of the Gambia, in particular women. By leveraging our collective strengths and resources, we can create a future where agriculture thrives, communities prosper, and sustainable development is realized for all.
Demba Sabali, Minister of Agriculture, reflected on the substantial impact of the previous CPF on the Gambia's agricultural sector and expressed optimism for the newly launched framework.
As we look back on the accomplishments made under the previous CPF 2017-2023, I cannot help but acknowledge the tremendous impact it made on the agriculture sector and the lives of our rural peoples. We witnessed a strong working relationship, enhanced access to production input and infrastructure development that is benefiting our rural communities and helping build resilience. I am filled with optimism for the future of our agriculture sector. Our government has outlined key priorities aimed at modernizing agriculture, enhancing food self-sufficiency, and fostering economic growth.
Over the next 4 years, the CPF aims to combine innovative international best practices and global standards with local expertise to strengthen food and nutrition security, stimulate commercialization and value chain development, foster employment generation, enhance youth and women's participation, bolster resilience, and ensure sustainable management of natural resources. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwenyi.
Women's rights activists and female lawyers on Wednesday called for the institution of laws that promote and guarantee women's right to land, especially for agriculture. They made demand at a knowledge-sharing event organized by the Action Aid the Gambia in partnership with the Roots Project. Ansumare Sonyasi was there, and he now reports.
Access to land for women, especially women farmers, remains a major challenge in the Gambia. A recent study by Action Aid revealed that despite constituting the majority of the country's farmer population, women only account for 10% custody of farmlands. To help address this, meetings were held with local authorities and village heads in 5 selected districts, namely North and South CRR, LRR, NBR, and URR, to better understand the reasons for this inequity, particularly at community level. At this knowledge-sharing event, Action Aid and Roots brought together stakeholders in the agriculture sector and lawmakers as well as CSOs for further dialogue to help galvanize more support for ongoing women land rights advocacy. Fatou Jammeh Toure, Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Agriculture, Fafa Ocham, Head of Programs and Policy at Action Aid, and Mamour Aliou Diagne, Roots Project Director, say there is a need for urgent action to help address this inequity.
With this important activity, important in the sense that it is looking at a resource that is scarce, that is the primary medium of any food production in this country, land.
We know we are dealing with a very critical matter, very sensitive, because it is a tradition, it is a norm that had been practiced for ages, and that is what men has absolute right and control over land.
Roots, of course, has an interest in championing access to land by women, since we target mostly women to improve production and productivity. It follows, therefore, we have to work with them in ensuring access to the land to be able to cultivate.
While others suggest more community engagements to better sensitize people that women too deserve equal rights to land ownership, especially in the agricultural sector, Ananjai, President of the Female Lawyers Association, and Honorable Omar Jammeh, National Assembly Member for Janjanbureh, say legislation is the surest way to address this problem.
The women make the majority of our farmers. So it's very alarming that the majority of the population, who are also the majority of the farmers, do not have access to land, or they have limited access to land.
If you look at the land legislations in this country, if my mind can serve me properly, the last time was in 1991. And I think the first time that we had a legislation on land was around 1945. So you can see the gap. So for me, it's a matter of going back to the drawing board and also coming up with the right legislations in ensuring that the acquisition of land by women would become something easy.
The inequity in access and ownership to land in the Gambia is compounded by existing practices that follow a patrilineal property system, wherein fathers in most cases bequeath land to their sons only, while women's access to land is highly mediated, mostly by social or marital status. However, despite the different approaches suggested on how to help address women's access to land, the general consensus at this stakeholder knowledge-sharing event is that there is a need to employ strong laws and programs that will guarantee access and ownership to land to women in the Gambia. Ansumane Sonyasi for Koriteh News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more local, international and sports news stories. Do stay tuned.
Gambia is proud to host the 15th OIC Summit on the 4th and 5th May 2024, the second largest gathering of world leaders, kings, presidents, rulers, prime ministers, along with delegates from 57 member countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation will gather in our beloved nation for this historic event. The theme of the summit is enhancing unity and solidarity through dialogue for sustainable development. It's a platform to foster cooperation, promote peace and drive sustainable development across the Ummah and the world at large. We call on all Gambians to unite and support the government as it strives to host a memorable and successful event. Let's showcase our hospitality, culture and the beauty of the Gambia to the world. Join us in making history. Let's stand together, united as one, to ensure the 15th OIC Summit in the Gambia is an event to remember. Together, we can make a difference.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket. With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected, juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back. This is QTV Nightly News. Koriteh sales, locally called Wanter, opened today at the Serekunda Market. QTV's Lolly M. Kamara spoke to KMC official and vendors this year's Wanter ahead of Eid al-Fitr. Here is a report.
Koriteh sales, or Wanter, is an annual open market held a few weeks before Eid al-Fitr. At the Serekunda Market this morning, vendors were being briefed by Modu Njai, market manager for the Koriteh municipality. He said the Wanter would have been difficult to do at the usual setting due to Operation Clear the Roads. However, the Wanter at its usual place was possible following the press release from the presidency.
We knew that people must approach us. So in between, thank God we were able to have a press release from the head of state that vendors will be allowed at a certain meter to occupy, to do their business. Latest the 15th of next month, everything has to be cleared. So on that note, we were able to apply for a permit from the police, but the permit was approved.
The Wanter attracts hundreds of people who either come to shop, window shop, or just enjoy the atmosphere with family and friends. Here is Mr. Njai again on rules and regulations for vendors.
Normally when you apply for a permit, there are conditions attached, but we have to maintain make sure that peace is maintained, security is available. As for now, the sister forces, which is the central police and the municipal police, are on the ground, and our commissioner of police, municipal police, have wrote to the PIU for us to have at least security within the period. Normally we do have them with the arm from 7 in the evening to 7 a.m. to secure people's property.
The Koriteh Municipal Police and other sister forces are providing security and safety for the vendors and the public during this period. Modu Njai advises stall owners to be law-abiding and always exercise patience.
We have to make sure that we maintain peace, and as council, we'll make sure that the waste are collected daily, but only during the night. That plan is there. We have to maintain peace. Then whoever has an issue, please approach the management. The securities are on the ground, and the management is also around to help. So peace is very key, because if peace is not available, the permit might be revoked, and which is not at the interest of both of us, both the council and the vendors on the ground.
We also engaged Antisena Busau, Hadi Cham, and Ibrahima M. Saho, both vendors taking part in this year's Wanter. I was here since 6 in the morning. Thank God I paid $1,000 and secured a place. This is my receipt. We are hopeful that this year things will be better, but cost of commodities are expensive. We used to sell used products at cheaper price. Now there are no old products to sell. We cannot just bring in new products to sell them very cheap, but we will try to be reasonable. We are here to get a place to display our products, and it was so easy for us. I would like to thank President Barrow for the foresight and timely intervention to allow us to occupy this place. Though things are expensive, we will try to make it reasonable for everyone.
Because as a youth.
This market generates income for the council. Just 1 meter space for me costs $1,000. So I hope that at the end of the day, I will gain something.
About 300 vendors are expected to take part in this year's open market sales or Wantel. And most of them are optimistic that things might change for the better for them in the days leading up to Koriteh. For QTV News, Sloliam Kamara.
We will now shift our attention to news outside the country. In one of his last duties as president, Macky Sall on Friday, 22nd March, unveiled a statue honoring the late Captain Mbaye, a man credited with saving the lives of many Rwandans during that country's 1994 genocide. Adedarami looks at the life and legacy of this remarkable Senegalese soldier.
The name of Captain Mbaye should be better known than it is. Perhaps the statue in his honor, unveiled by outgoing Senegalese President Macky Sall, may help keep the flame of his name alive. In Rwanda, there is little chance of them forgetting this man. Jang served in the United Nations mission in Rwanda in 1994 and is celebrated in that country for risking his life by confronting Interahamwe militia in defense of the Tutsi men and women who were running for their lives during the massacres. According to the testimony of many survivors, the late peacekeeper confronted the Interahamwe attackers and told them it was his duty to protect these men and women, and they could kill him before they could kill the Tutsi. It is believed that Jang may have saved between 600 and 1,000 people before he was killed on May the 31st, 1994, in a mortar attack at a militia checkpoint. In many parts of the world, and especially in Rwanda, Jang's heroism has not gone unrecognized. In 2010, he was awarded the Umurinzi, the Campaign Against Genocide Medal, which was presented to his widow Yacine Mar Diop by President Paul Kagame. And in 2019, at the 25th Kwibuka, the annual remembrance of the end of the genocide, President Kagame mentioned him by name as being among the non-Rwandans who had given their lives to save many Rwandans. In 2014, 20 years after his death, the United Nations named a medal in his honor, the Captain Mbaye Medal for Exceptional Courage, which is given to UN personnel who have demonstrated exceptional courage in the face of extreme danger and in the course of their duty. On the day the vote was taken to accord him this honor, members of his family were invited to the UN headquarters for the event. BBC journalist Mark Doyle wrote a piece about Jang entitled A Good Man in Rwanda. It contained testimonies of survivors, and Doyle also recounted how Jang saved his life by convincing militiamen who wanted to kill him that Doyle was not a Belgian, days after 10 Belgian UN troops had been killed by militiamen. Fellow Senegalese Brigadier El Hadj Babacar Faye, who served as part of an African military observer and later as a UN peacekeeper as part of the UN force in Rwanda, also paid a glowing tribute to his longtime friend and former classmate, the late Captain Mbaye. According to the general, the late Captain Mbaye was daring, courageous, humane, and so much more. As he inaugurated the statue on Friday, March the 22nd, President Sall described Jang, who was born in 1928, as a national and global hero who defended human values. For QTV News, I am Ade Darami.
We'll now take a look at the latest in sports. The Gambia missed out yet again another FIFA window to play international friendlies, while main countries in the continent played friendlies to prepare for upcoming AFCON and World Cup qualifiers in June. Our sports reporter Momodu Gajaga tells us more.
The Gambia's football ranking has dropped, according to the most recent FIFA ranking published on February 15, 2024. The Gambia is ranked 130 in the world ranking and 39th out of 53 countries in Africa. The drop in rankings came after a string of poor results. 3 defeats in the AFCON 2023 group stage, preceded by 2 defeats in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Burundi and Cote d'Ivoire. With the lack of engagement during the FIFA window, we'll further see the country's ranking dropped both globally and in the continent. The Gambia were just a whisker away from playing preliminaries for the qualifiers of the next AFCON in Morocco in 2025. The 8 lowest ranked countries play in preliminary quarters before joining the main qualifiers groups. Cote d'Ivoire, AFCON 2023 winner, who are in the same group with the Gambia for the World Cup qualifiers, defeated Uruguay 2-1 in a friendly. Kenya, another team in the group, humbled Zimbabwe 3-1 in another international friendly. The Scorpions are without a coach since Tom Sanfield resigned during the AFCON 2023 in Cote d'Ivoire. Although the vacant position of the national team has been advertised by the Gambia Football Federation, a replacement for Tom is yet to be announced. Mumudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Before we end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. President Adama Barrow is pleased to declare Friday 29th March and Monday 1st April 2024 as public holidays throughout the country to mark this year's Easter celebration. On Wednesday, after the delivery forum with the President, Professor Pierre Gomez, the Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, disclosed plans to provide state-of-the-art facilities for the University of the Gambia medical students. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations held a high-level meeting on Wednesday, marking the official signing and public launch of its country programming framework 2024 to 2028. Women's rights activists and female lawyers on Wednesday called for the institution of laws that promote and guarantee women's rights to land, especially for agriculture. In sports news, the Gambia missed out yet again another FIFA window to play international friendlies to prepare for upcoming AFCON and World Cup qualifiers in June. In international news, in one of his last duties as president, Macky Sall has unveiled a statue honoring the late Captain Mbaye Diagne, a man credited with saving the lives of many Rwandans during that country's 1994 genocide. Well, that's all we have for you in this bulletin. Join us at tomorrow, 8 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.